This might just be the news channel that you've always been looking for. Let's find out together. I have a video. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene introducing the impeachment of Joe Biden, which starts today.
I introduced articles of impeachment against Joe Biden on his first full day in office on January 21st, 2021, for the Burisma bribery scandal in Ukraine. It was clear to me then, and now more than ever, that Joe Biden was directly involved with Hunter's business dealings.
She called it 2 years before anyone else. And that's why she's one of the smartest people in politics. She's wise.
For decades, the Biden crime family have leveraged their positions of privilege and power to enrich themselves. The Bidens got rich and America got robbed. I completely share your frustration that Joe Biden has yet to be impeached, but let me tell you something. This is so much bigger than just Joe Biden. There are bureaucrats throughout our entire government that have abused their power for decades on end. You know them as the deep state.
The FBI.
Presidents come and go, but the deep state remains in power.
Because the deep state are appointed and not elected.
The deep state will remain in government long after Joe Biden is gone. They must all be held accountable and fully exposed. That is why I'm advocating for a painfully slow, drawn-out impeachment process, one that rightfully stains the legacy of Joe Biden, and one that does permanent damage to the deep state.
Yeah, a lot of you want it one and done. Let's just get this guy. No, they have to exhaustively go through everything he did wrong.
In order to impeach Joe Biden, we must have the support of 218 members of Congress. That means we can only afford to lose the support of 4 members in the Republican conference. And for whatever reason, we currently do not have 218 votes to impeach Joe Biden.
Yeah, and I don't think we're even close on that number that we need. Too many Republicans are peeling off. They may even agree that Joe Biden's a criminal. They may just say, look, it's a bad tactic to go after him for impeachment. Some of them, frankly, would rather have him run against Trump because it's easier for Trump to beat Biden. This is Smith. This is the guy from Montana who's one of the major members of the impeachment hearing. He opens up. These are all of the charges on Joe Biden. This is a long segment, but this has all the facts to start you out today. You'll know more about the Joe Biden impeachment than any of your friends.
Yesterday, the Ways and Means Committee released new documents showing President Biden was not just aware of his son's business dealings, but he was connected to them.
Absolutely.
In a newly released message to a Chinese business executive, Hunter Biden mentions preserving the, quote, keys to my family's only asset. That asset, Joe Biden.
The president.
New evidence released in response to questions raised by members of the committee on both sides when Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler, the 2 IRS whistleblowers, testified in July, paints a disturbing picture of a revolving door between Joe Biden's office and Hunter Biden's business partners.
We covered them.
According to a worksheet provided by IRS whistleblower Ziegler, then Vice President Biden's April 2014 official visit to Ukraine occurred only days after a series of White House meetings with Hunter Biden and his business associates regarding Ukraine.
Guilty.
Shortly after Joe Biden returned stateside, the Ukrainian company Burisma announced Hunter Biden's appointment to its board. New evidence provided shows Hunter Biden using his father's position to gain favor with billionaire Miguel Alemán, including having Joe Biden host them at the White House in February of 2014 at the vice president's residence alongside Mexican billionaire Carlos Slim in November of 2015.
I hadn't heard that.
And then in 2016, using Air Force Two to shuttle Hunter Biden and his business associate to Mexico City.
This goes to Mexico.
Whether it was lunches, phone calls, White House meetings, or official foreign trips, Hunter Biden cashed in by arranging access to Joe Biden, the family brand. The Biden family and their associates received millions in payments from foreign sources, including from Russia, China, Ukraine, Romania. In one email, Hunter Biden even bragged that he cut a deal for $10 million from just one company for, quote, introductions alone.
Did we leave anyone out?
And yet the DOJ wanted to keep the spotlight as far from Joe Biden as possible. One of the items we released yesterday was an IRS interview with James Biden, the president's brother, in September of 2022. The agency was barred in the interview from asking him about Joe Biden and about whether Joe Biden was involved in Hunter Biden's deal with a Chinese energy company. And when Hunter Biden had his tax liability of over $2 million mysteriously paid for by a Democrat Party donor named Kevin Morris, who he barely knew, something IRS investigators saw as a possible campaign finance violation, Assistant U.S. Attorney Leslie Wolf said she did not want any of the agents to look into the allegation. On the board are notes Agent Shapley took from that meeting.
Democrat
he notes that
cover-up.
Wolf told investigators that she was not, quote, personally interested in pursuing it. This is the same attorney, Wolf, who in an email we released yesterday responded to IRS investigators seeking approval for a search warrant with, quote, there should be nothing about political figure one in here, that being a reference by definition of Joe Biden.
Cover up.
The Biden family sold access to Joe Biden's power, and the Biden Justice Department protected the Biden brand.
Smith just gave you a line of specific evidence that we hadn't heard. We've done a video on a couple of them, but most of this is brand new material. You got it right here first on Doug in Exile. I'm Doug.